ask you all to rise. Let us pray. Almighty God, you have given us this good land as our heritage. Make us always remember your generosity, your grace, and constantly to do your will. Bless our land with honesty, honest industry, truthful education, and an honorable way of life. Save us from violence, discord, hatred, and prejudice. Give us a spirit of love and the strength to know and do your will. Make us, who came from many nations, a united people, so that the barriers which divide us may crumble. Defend our liberties and give all who bear office in our land the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of knowledge, and the fear of the Lord, so there might be justice and peace in our land. Finally, Lord, bless our coming together tonight. Let your life-giving spirit move each of us to do justice, to love kindness, and walk humbly with you. We ask this all in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Leading the Pledge of Allegiance, please welcome the President of American Legion, Post 346, David Siegel.
I would ask you all to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. For all those that are able, I would ask you to please stand. Please place your hands over your heart. For veterans, military personnel, and first responders, I would ask you to render the proper military salute. If you would please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Singing the national anthem, please welcome Diane Tate.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
USA! 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 USA!
Please welcome local first responder Kyle Kashik.
Good evening, Northeastern Pennsylvania. My name is Kyle, and I'm proud to be here tonight. I am a born and raised Pennsylvanian working as a police officer and volunteer firefighter just 10 minutes away from my childhood home in Luzerne County. As a police officer, I work a lot of overtime. For some people, overtime is optional, but for first responders, overtime is a reality of the job. Communities depend on us to be there in a crisis, whether it happens at Sunday at 3 p.m. or Tuesday at 3 a.m. I am proud of the work I do, and I'm happy to do it, but the hours could take a toll. But knowing now that this work isn't going to be taxed, well, that really goes a long way. Congressman Bresnahan helped pass the historic legislation President Trump signed that is going to put more money in the pockets of working families and first responders like me. Making overtime tax-free helps us stretch our paychecks further at a time when everything feels more expensive. The extra money in my pocket is going towards putting down roots, buying a house, and starting a family. I really feel supported by this policy. It shows me that they didn't forget us about first responders in Washington. Tonight, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Congressman Bresnahan for supporting no tax on overtime. Thank you to President Trump for making this a reality and for having our backs. Thank you to my fellow first responders, and I'm proud to stand by you. And thank you to our community who supports us day in and day out. It is an honor to serve each and every day. God bless the men and women who serve, and God bless America.
Please welcome Small Business Manager. Please welcome Small Business Manager Amy Conboy.
Hello, Northeastern Pennsylvania. My name is Amy, and I am proud to be from right here in Monroe County. I've spent most of my life in this community, and after college, I chose to return home to work as a waitress and bartender at my family's Irish pub. I love being a part of our family business, but like many hardworking people, I have felt the impact of taxes taking a significant portion of my paycheck. Most of my income comes from tips, and money that I earn by providing great service is reduced before I ever see it. That's why the efforts of President Trump and Congressman Bresnahan mean so much to me. They understand how important it is for working families and young people to keep more of what we earn. Their work to deliver larger tax cuts and to introduce new rules that help those who rely on tipped income makes a real difference. Eliminating taxes on tips will be transformative for me and for so many servers in our community. It means keeping more of our hard-earned wages, saving for our futures, and having the chance to build stability. For me, it brings me closer to my goal of one day owning a home and investing back into the community that raised me. We all know how challenging the past few years have been. Affordability affects everyone, but especially those living paycheck to paycheck. I've seen it on the news, heard it from customers and friends alike. President Trump and Congressman Bresnahan heard it too, and I believe they are working hard on behalf of all of us because they want us and America to be successful. As someone just beginning my adult life and career, I am grateful that they are focused on helping people like me prosper. Thank you all for having me here tonight. I am honored to be standing here before you, and I am truly proud to be a Pennsylvanian and an American.
Please welcome local waitress Donna Zajac.
Hello, Monroe County. My name is Donna, and you know, I can't believe I'm up here on this stage. I'm a single mom. I'm a single mom who has lived in Pennsylvania for the past 20 years, and I've been a waitress all my life. Started when I was 15 years old. I've always enjoyed it and used to waitressing made good money. But lately, my money doesn't mean to stretch that far. Pretty much everything I make goes towards paying the bills with taxes. These days, though, there's nothing in my paycheck. A lot of people don't realize this, but for servers, almost our entire income is from the tips we earn from satisfied customers. And you know, I'm sure there are a lot of people like me out there in this audience, and even more of you watching this. People who felt like they can't get up something sometimes, especially under the Biden administration. It was hard to keep up with the bills or afford any basic things when there just isn't enough money to go around. Next year, it's going to be different, though, because next year I'm going to get my taxes back from the tips I earned. So will everyone who's paid tips, everyone who paid tips. Thanks to President Trump and Congressman Bresnan, no taxes on tips was passed. On tips was passed and signed into law. For me, that's the difference between paying my electricity bill in full or in installments. This is going to change a lot for me and for my daughter Fatima. I have to brag on her for a second. She's at school studying to be a veterinarian. Yeah. Which is what she always wanted to do since she was just a little girl. She was this big when she was little. She said she was going to be a doggy doctor. With no taxes on tips, I'll have extra money in my pocket to help with her tuition. I'm going to help her live her dream. As a mom, that's what you want for your child. And President Trump and Congressman Bresnan are making this happen. Thank you so much for listening and allowing me to share my story. I'm really thankful to be here and thankful to know we got people who care about putting money in our pockets.
Please welcome Congressman Dan Muser.
Let's go! Good evening, Northeast Pennsylvania. How we doing tonight? Is everybody ready for the 47th President of the United States to arrive? Look, I come tonight beginning with just saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for re-electing President Donald J. Trump as the president. For electing U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. For electing Rob Bresnahan to help us in the House. Rob's in the House. To elect Ryan McKenzie, who's also here. We need him. And thank you for electing your favorite congressman, that damn user. No, I'm kidding. So, in the last year, President Trump, as you've probably noticed, has fixed everything that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris broke. Wouldn't you agree? How about how he fixed our border? Stop the drugs, stop the human trafficking, stop the cost on American taxpayers. How about how he fixed American energy? There was an all-out assault on domestic energy under the Biden administration. Thanks to President Trump, taxes are coming down, going to drive manufacturing growth. How about the common sense that Joe Biden tried to break? He did break, but President Trump brought it back. Trade. Folks, last month we had the lowest trade deficit in the last 50 years, thanks to President Donald J. Trump. World stability, the leadership that our president is showing, opening up markets and bringing peace throughout the country. And yes, President Trump also fixed the broken inflation that Bidenomics has caused. During Biden administration time period, inflation went up over 20%. You know what it's been since President Trump took office? 2.3%. Okay? So in spite of what the fake news wants to tell you, we inherited the high costs. We inherited the inflation. We inherited the 20%. But guess what? President Trump and the Republican Congress are going to fix that too. There's a plan in place. The plan includes the taxes, the regulations, the energy, the trade, the banking, leaning in all aspects to deliver. And it's going to happen. But President Trump cannot do it alone. President Trump cannot do it alone. And that's why going to be following me after my remarks is Rob Bresnahan, who represents you here in the 8th Congressional, represents Monroe County. We're also going to have Ryan McKenzie, as mentioned, from the Lehigh Valley. We also have with us tonight, and we were going to have an opportunity, folks, next year to borrow a phrase, make Pennsylvania great again. We got Stacey Garrity here with us. Stacey's done an unbelievable job as state treasurer, private sector experience, and she's a retired full colonel in the United States Army. And boy, oh boy, I can't wait till we defeat Josh Shapiro. So, my fellow Pennsylvanians, once again, just like in 2024, we need to deliver, we need to come through, we got to get out the vote, we've got to be all in like we were in the past, because freedom of America, just like 250 years ago, runs through our great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's up to us, Pennsylvania. Can we do it? Let's deliver for the America we love. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Please welcome Congressman Ryan McKenzie.
If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be served like California. You see them wearing their baggies, Warachi sandals too.
Good evening, Monroe County. Are you ready for the 45th and 47th President of the United States? I know you are, because it was just over a year ago that it was places like Monroe County that delivered for President Trump. We had victories up and down the ballot because people were sick and tired of 4 years of out-of-control inflation under Joe Biden, a wide-open southern border, and chaos all around the world. So what did they vote for? They voted for change. We sent them 2 new congressmen right here in Monroe County, myself and Rob Bresnahan. We defeated Bob Casey and sent them Dave McCormick in the U.S. Senate. And we sent Kamala Harris packing and President Trump back to the White House. Now, when we get victories like that, it's not just for politics. It is because we love our country and we want to get things back in the right track. So what did we do? In Congress, we started working with President Trump on day one. We got to work and did the hard things. We secured the southern border, which the Democrats told us was not possible. Now you see illegal border crossings down over 90%, and that southern border, according to our Border Patrol, is more secure than ever. That means less crime, less drugs, and less human trafficking right here in the United States. The president and his administration also went to work fixing all the conflicts and forever wars that have been going on all over the globe. And he has resolved so many conflicts in a peaceable fashion that they just gave him the FIFA Peace Prize. How about that? And when it comes to our economy, we worked with the president to pass the single largest tax cut in American history. That is going to deliver real relief for every single American, and let me tell you how. It is going to expand the standard deduction so that every single American gets the tax relief they deserve. And then, as we've heard in other categories, whether you're an overtime worker or a tipped worker, you are going to see some of the biggest relief and the biggest return that you have ever seen in your life come April of next year. But that's not it. We did more. We passed an expanded deduction for our seniors, who we know are struggling on fixed incomes. So there is no tax on a big portion of their Social Security. Almost 90% of seniors will now not have tax. But there is more work to be done. We know that's not enough. We are not going to rest on our laurels. We know so many people are struggling because of those high prices from Joe Biden's inflation. That does not mean that prices come down when we say that we have tamed inflation. It just means that we have stopped the rate of growth from that massive spending that was going on for 4 years. So we have a lot more work to be done, and one area that we're going to hear about tonight is from a cabinet member, the Secretary of Energy, who is here, because when we bring down the cost of American energy and get back to American energy dominance, that brings down the price of everything across the board, because that energy goes into the fuel, that goes into the transportation, that brings goods to market. And so when we bring down that cost of energy, we see prices across the board coming down. So you're going to hear from him and from the president about what we're doing to bring back American energy dominance in this country. The final thing I want to talk about, when it comes to affordability, the other component outside of costs and taxes that are such a big part of it, the other component is American wages. When we shut that southern border to illegal immigrants, we also stop the flow of people coming into our country, taking American jobs and reducing American wages. So by securing that southern border, you're going to see that you're not going to get undercut by somebody who's working under the table, not paying taxes, not having any kind of workers' compensation, nothing like that. What you're going to see is that real wages are going to rise. And when we do that, we can lift all boats in this economy. So we are going to go about doing this hard work for another year, and I am confident that all of you in this room and Americans around the world are going to see the benefits of 2 years of President Trump and a Republican House and a Republican Senate, and we are going to get reelected to get this country back on track for another 2 years. So I just want to close by saying thank you to all of you for what you did to get President Trump, Dave McCormick, and myself elected to the U.S. Congress last year. We are working on your behalf every single day. And when it comes to 26, I know that you're going to have our back, and we are going to continue to make America great. Thank all of you. God bless you, and enjoy the evening with President Trump.
If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be served like California.
Please welcome your Congressman, Rob Bresnahan.
Northeastern Pennsylvania. What a great night for Northeastern Pennsylvania. It is an honor to welcome President Trump back to Northeastern Pennsylvania. Here at NEPA, we're built on hard work, strong families, and communities that take care of each other. We show up, we work, we put in the hours so our kids can have a better life. Tonight is important because NEPA reflects both the challenges and hopes of working families across America. Our region keeps this country moving. We build, we ship, we farm, we protect, and we serve. From the workers at the Tobyhanna Army Depot, to the officers at USP Canaan, to the nurses and hospital staff caring for our families late into the night, Northeastern Pennsylvania shows the grit and the heart of this country. Over my first year in Congress, I've met with and heard from thousands of people like all of us who live in our district, and have heard about the challenges that they're facing. Seniors in Stroudsburg struggling with prescription costs. Parents in Wilkes-Barre doing everything they can to keep their kids safe and healthy. Manufacturers in Lackawanna County proud of their work, but squeezed by energy cost and workforce shortages. First responders in Nanticoke slowed down by failing infrastructure. The message is the same everywhere we go. Lower the cost, support high-paying jobs, keep our communities safe, and listen to the people doing the work. They aren't asking for partisan arguments. They're asking for results. This is why I was proud to work with President Trump to deliver the Working Family Tax Cuts Act, which delivered no tax on tips. Go, you can clap for that. Let's go. No tax on overtime, expanded the child tax credit, raised the standard deduction, and gave a $6,000 tax credit to our senior citizens. Now it's time to build on this and continue the work with the president to cut costs for working families, bring jobs back from overseas, fix our roads and bridges, ensure access to affordable and reliable health care close to home, and stand with every single veteran and military family in the United States. Let's thank President Trump for braving the freezing temperatures here in Northeastern Pennsylvania and making the trip back home. It reflects our shared commitment to strengthening the middle class, rebuilding American industry, and investing in regions just like ours. I am proud to welcome President Trump and the Trump administration to Northeastern Pennsylvania. Thank you for getting me to Congress. It is a humble and a privilege to serve you each and every day.
welcome Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I let you love what I wanted this morning. You came along and
Thank you for being here tonight. It's an honor to be in the great state of Pennsylvania, and particularly in northeastern Pennsylvania. The history of this state, the anthracite coal nearby, the Titusville, the first well that started the global oil and gas industry, and today the Marcellus Shale, the greatest shale gas on the planet, are all in this great state of Pennsylvania. You help. Even better is the people and the culture of Pennsylvania. You built the industrial revolution of our country, built our industrial strength, helped us win 2 world wars, and become the economic powerhouse of the world. Pennsylvania has a tremendous history, and I believe deserves and should have an even more prosperous and opportunity-rich future. That should be the future of Pennsylvania. President Biden, unfortunately, launched a 4-year all-out war on energy. Every form of energy, every tool possible. He called it a war on climate change, but of course that's nonsense. 4 years of all of government war that did one thing, that drove up the price of energy, drove the largest inflation in a 4-year period in my lifetime, made life less affordable for Americans, drove jobs overseas, and weakened our nation. Thankfully, the great state of Pennsylvania and Americans all across the country elected President Trump to put an end to this destructive nonsense. President Trump's views on energy are very simple. More is better. Americans better than foreign. Lower prices are better than higher prices. More jobs, more opportunity, more rising in wages. Those are better, not bad things. Those are what we're all about. 7 days a week, President Trump works to push this agenda. So what does he do? He's got to reverse everything done by President Biden. But President Biden canceled an oil pipeline connecting the U.S. and Canada that was under construction. President Trump fights every day so we can build more pipelines. So we're going to take Pennsylvania gas to New England, drive their energy prices down, and bring opportunity to get more Pennsylvania gas exported to our allies abroad. And most importantly, to bring jobs, industry, and economic opportunity right here in Pennsylvania, Just over a week ago, President Trump signed the Genesis mission. This is a major initiative for the United States to lead in AI, to maintain our global superiority, military, technology, economic. AI is going to be transformative for our country, and we cannot be second behind China. A Biden administration or a Harris administration would guarantee we could not lead in AI, because we'd be short of energy, we'd have inflation problems racking our country, we'd have blackouts across the country today. President Trump has stopped the closure of coal plants. He pushed a... The anthracite coal from this region launched America to the country we are today. Think about that. And the Biden administration did everything they could to crush coal-generated electricity, coal mining, coal exports to the world, coal opportunity, total and destructive nonsense. Under President Trump, we have record high oil production, record high natural gas production. Soon we will start to see downward pressure on electricity prices. And let me end, yes. I take that as a sign that everyone prefers lower electricity prices over higher electricity prices. This has electoral implications. If you look across the states, and as a data nerd, I do that, electricity prices in Democrat-controlled states are 75% higher than they are in Republican-led states. If you want low electricity prices, what you want is the ability to build infrastructure, to build new power plants and keep the ones you have open, and you want to build demand growth. You want new factories in your state. You want businesses to expand, and you want to build data centers. I know they're controversial, but if you look at the states that have growing demand for electricity, they have flat or declining electricity prices. If you look at California, New York State, Massachusetts, they actually produce less electricity today than they did 5 years ago, and they have skyrocketing electricity prices. You get economic growth going in Pennsylvania. People build factories, expand things, build data centers. That is a road not only for jobs and tax revenue and economic opportunity, it is the road to lower electricity prices. It is the road we can all follow thanks to President Trump's leadership. God bless you all, and I love the state of Pennsylvania.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Please welcome Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Besson.
Good. And thank you all. It's good to be back in Pennsylvania. I hear Scranton is sleepy Joe Biden's hometown. But as far as I can tell, this is Trump country. Pennsylvanians elected President Trump for a second term because they'd had enough of a president who put America last. Biden and his autopen were the chief architects of the worst inflation, Bidenflation, in a generation. His administration made life impossibly expensive for American families through a toxic mix of what I call the 3 I's: immigration, interest rates, and inflation. Biden's immigration free-for-all was among the greatest abuses of power ever imposed on the American people. By allowing 10 to 20 million illegal aliens into the country against the will of voters, the last administration stole both jobs and homes from American families. Home prices and rents soared as millions of illegal aliens who were never supposed to be here in the first place competed for housing. And wages cratered from the glut of new labor supply. Biden's open borders effectively created a black market in labor that kept wages for working Americans artificially suppressed. Thousands of our own citizens suddenly found themselves out of work or working a job that barely paid the rent. At the same time, they saw their rent costs climbing higher. Why? Because they now had to compete for a limited number of homes against a seemingly unlimited number of illegals. Donald Trump stood above the endless stream of illegal immigration yelling, "Stop, stop." And this is why Pennsylvania and Americans voted for him in a landslide. President Trump promised to secure the border and return American jobs and homes to American citizens through the largest deportation effort of the century. He has delivered on that promise in every day, every way. Common sense, simply closing the border. Our president is bringing an end to illegal wage suppression to put American workers first. And his policies are already bearing fruit. Real wages across the country are up 1% on the year, the first time in 4 years. We are witnessing a blue-collar boom with real wages for blue-collar workers under President Trump increasing at one of the fastest rates in the last half century, almost in line with his first term. Thanks to the president's efforts to clean up illegal immigration, he is fixing high home costs as well. Rents have come down significantly. Consider that the average national price of rent has decreased 5% since the peak of Biden's immigration insanity. We expect average home prices to follow suit as deportations unlock more housing supply. The second eye that made life unbearable for American families under Biden was interest rates, which climbed at an unprecedented rate while he was in office. But President Trump is fixing that too. High interest rates make life more expensive for American families, but they are coming down under President Trump. The bond market had its best year since 2020, and if I have anything to say about it, as your nation's top bond salesman, bonds will have another strong year in 2026 as we fight to bring Treasury borrowing costs down. Lower Treasury borrowing costs mean lower mortgage rates, lower car payments, and lower credit card bills, which all translates to greater buying power for all Americans. The third eye that drove the cost of living crisis under Biden was inflation. The previous administration ran up the highest deficit in U.S. history outside of a recession or wartime. As a result, inflation skyrocketed to a 40-year high. As Secretary Wright, the highest in his lifetime and my lifetime. Families watched their hard-earned savings melt away as prices of consumer goods climbed ever higher. As with immigration, the Biden administration stole from the American people through inflation. Consider that 42% of inflation under Biden was triggered by his administration's runaway deficit spending. Inflation is the ultimate stealth tax. It's the government's way of spending money it doesn't have and devaluing yours. Biden ran up America's credit card and left all of us here to foot the bill in the form of higher prices in groceries, gasoline, clothes, and other goods we depend on. This was just one more reason voters like you elected President Trump. President Trump is stamping out Bidenflation for good, and we fully expect it to roll down next year. Prices went up under Biden because his central planning policies created scarcity. Scarcity in nearly every sector of the economy, from housing and energy to credit and consumer goods. This made inflation even worse than it would have been as a result of deficit spending alone. But where Biden created scarcity, President Trump is creating abundance. Thanks to President Trump's efforts on deregulation, America's businesses are able to build and innovate again. Thanks to his one big beautiful bill, Americans are taking home more of their hard-earned income as a result of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and deductibility of auto loans for American-made cars. American-made cars. And thanks to his heroic efforts in trade, trillions of dollars in new investment have flowed into the United States, and our workers are finally able to compete on an even playing field. These policies in combination are driving a boost in production that will lower the prices of goods for all Americans in 2026 while also creating jobs and increasing incomes. This is the formula for prosperity: lowering prices, raising incomes. And every component of the Trump economic agenda is in pursuit of these twin goals. Under President Trump, scarcity is giving way to prosperity. The benefits of his agenda are now rippling through the economy, and those ripples will become waves as his agenda gathers force in 2026. President Trump has put a decisive end to the 3 I's. I would add a fourth one: insanity, under Joe Biden. Insanity. Our great president is ushering in a golden age economy by making America affordable again. We're grateful to have you with us, and I look forward to the president speaking to all of you this evening. It's great to be with you. Thank you.